on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys have been waiting for another one and enjoyed this one as well. Today I'm going to be talking about the isopods and basically just my two times a week care that I do for all of my isopods, for all of these bins, as well as, don't mind the mess, but I got a lot of stuff going on over there with all those bins. We got charcoal, spilled some stuff, so I had to vacuum it up. Got dirt over there. Don't mind the McDonald's because I've been working hard. But got the tanks, got all of that over there that I have to that I am working on at the moment. But for now, over here we have all of these. We have all of these bins that we got to do. Some of them are starting to get little mold deposits, so I am going to be changing out a lot of the dirt for a lot of these. I might or might not go over that this time, but I know like it's hard for bins like this where you have a bunch of babies in there. So this one, luckily it has no mold growth right now. That's just on the outside of the bin right there. But luckily it has no mold growth on the inside, kind of like this bin does. This is the other Justroy bin that I'll have to grab some out of, depending on if there's babies in there or not. But today, I'm going ahead and going through all the bins. This is my Pruinosis line right here. I have the orange powdered, Oreo crumble, whiteouts, orange cream, blue powdered. I am going to be expanding the blue powder. This is my bin of leaves that I have to sanitize still. But over there, the blue powder are going to be going into a second bin, as well as the Oreo crumble. We've been getting a lot of them. We're breeding a lot of them now. So since we have a lot, it's going to be great for bringing to shows. We're going to have enough for the shows. And we're taking a break over this month, not going to any more shows until, well, not really a month. Maybe we took like a 3-week break from shows and made sure to not go into any, just so these isopods can really de-stress and not have to worry about me opening up the bins, hitting them down, or not hitting them down, but like hitting them into buckets kind of like this, and then counting them out from there. These are some of the orange powdered that I'm going to be transferring over, because that bin, as you guys can see, has all that mold in there. You guys see one of the isopods going across it right now. So it has too much that I like in there, so I'm going to be transferring these out into a new bin. But for now, like I said, I have the Bug Burger, the good old-fashioned Bug Burger. We only sell the products that we use, guys. We only sell products, especially food products, that we use or have used in the past. So now, this is the Bug Burger. Sometimes we do Morning Wood, sometimes we do Bug Burger. But I already watered this enclosure, as you guys can see.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, Siri. So, what I'm doing in here, these are our pudding clowns. We have a lot of them in here, which I gotta get more cork bark so we can spread these enclosures out too. We have a decent amount of them in here. So we're letting these guys catch back up. I'm also today going through all of the bins from the cup from our last show and putting all the isopods back in their enclosures. So I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing today. I'm not gonna be recording all of that, but I just wanted to give you guys like an update, put some clips together, and just to show you guys all the different isopods that I have. And for each bin, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the isopods, or at least just showing a video or a different skit about them. So, like I said, one more time, these are the, let's take a look, focus in, there we go. And these right here, these are going to be the pudding clowns. So we got some babies like right there. These guys are doing well for me, as you guys can see. We started off with 10 of them. Now we have tons of them. And we have, I believe, 4 cups put together. And since we put 15 in each one, that's another 60 adults that, in a way, it's lucky. We're lucky that they didn't sell this show, because, you know, we could use them in this bin to breed a little bit more. So we're putting them back in this bin and then letting them breed out. And then underneath this one, we have the papayas, which I already did. I'm not going to go over the bins that I've already done, like I said, which are just the Pruinosis species, because I almost forgot to record this video. But today we're going to be checking out the rest of them, so you can see kind of like our care for our isopods, what you need, what you don't need, what we believe you should do with them or without them, or what you should do for them. Just a bunch of different little things in there. So let me go ahead and get to the next bin, and I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, so I just watered this bin. These guys are the orange Dalmatians. You guys can see that nice, if I can zoom in at all. Oh, there we go. That nice orange patterning on them. Now, they normally look closer towards that, but with the food that's in their system, that's why they have like that black streak down their back. Normally they look a little bit closer towards that. But that is the entire bin. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Nope, wrong one. There we go. So, this bin is, like I said, the orange Dalmatian. We have a bunch of them. We have babies. These guys are doing well for us. We have the regular Dalmatians as well. I believe somewhere we should have regular Dalmatians. If not, I'm going to be getting them real soon. I thought I did. I don't see the bin, but I thought I did. Oh, but here, this is all I do when I'm feeding them. You guys can see they have some leaf litter and they got some places to hide. Now, this is what I was talking about when it comes to isopod breeders. Isopods are decomposers. Now, they can live, because they're decomposers, normally they don't get the best nutrients in their diet. But their bodies are adapted to be able to live off of the nutrients that they do get. Now, don't mind the top of this lid. This is from when I originally got these bins. I didn't realize all the stuff I was going to do with this business now, like I did then. But like I was saying, isopods, they're decomposers, so they're naturally used to not having the top of the line best nutrients in the world. So, but that's okay, because what we do in the isopod hobby, especially in vivariums, kind of like this one right here that I have set up, I have dairy cows all in there, and even roaches. I don't know if you guys can see that one roach climbing up. That's a male dubia. But I have dairy cows in there, and they do very well. This is how I like to put my enclosures. So we got zebras all in this one. We sold a little too many last year, so we're letting these numbers right here, all those little babies, grow up. We got the big bin of sphagnum moss, or the side of sphagnum moss. This is kind of how I'm redesigning my enclosures now, where I like having that little corner of sphagnum moss. Normally, as you guys saw, I do spread it out within the soil, so it does keep a nice mixture in there. But I have decided to start doing it this way. A few months ago, I just stopped. I haven't changed any bins out yet that I needed to, so I haven't. There's only a few enclosures that are like this right now. I will be updating them. But overall, guys, all I have in here is a basic care for every single one of my isopods, and some I do change it out a little bit more than others, but this is the basic care, guys. I have the isopods, I have organic soil, I also have the sphagnum moss mixed in with the dirt. I have leaves sourced from my backyard that are boiled and then put in here that are also mixed in with the dirt and then layered with some on top. That is it. That's all that you need for isopods. But these are our best friends, as well as they are something that we like to keep in our house as pets. So why not sprinkle them with a little bit more nutrients than just what we know they can survive with? That is why, and since we're breeding them, specifically breeding them, that's why I like to dump in a little bit of the bug burger, as you guys can see. I put it on top. That is enough for these guys. But I put it on top of, sorry, I dropped the lid. I put it on top of the cork bark, so that is the one place that I have not sprayed. So it's not going to mold nearly as fast if you put it on top of the cork bark where it's dry, rather than if you put it on the dirt where it's wet. That's where a lot more mold starts growing. I'm not talking about this mold, like that yellow mold or the white mold that is like on that enclosure. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just specifically mold that's that grows right off the food because of the extra nutrients that are in there. So overall, you don't have to keep them, or you don't need the top of the notch things to get into them. A relative cost that I would say for isopods, after buying the isopods, just spend $20 or less for their bin, for the dirt. Get some buy some leaves, or even get some from your backyard and boil them. I know this time of the year, especially on the northern U.S., it's colder and there's snow on the ground. So if you can't find any leaves, then go ahead and just buy some from somewhere. If you can, order them on Amazon or something. But you definitely want to get hardwood leaves. But besides for that, guys, it's basically that's the care. It's easy. It is, people ask about supply and demand. That's the basics of economics, which you guys should need to know about isopods. I've seen in some isopod groups that people question why some isopods are more expensive than others, that it's not as fun getting into the hobby. Now, as a business owner, I do believe that. I do believe that isopods, for as easy as they are to take care of, there is a lot of research, a lot of work, a lot of dedication, just like I have done, to breed these guys. So breeding them at a novice level, when you're only breeding one, is one thing. But when you're spending a few hours a week breeding all of your isopods, making sure they're all okay, they're not stressed, they're not dying off, changing out the dirt, making sure everything is the same, that you're testing everything, it makes it a little bit more work. So, and then you got to depend on, or it depends on, like, you know, which isopods breed the fastest, which ones look the coolest, which ones are in more demand. Ones that are in more demand usually cost a little bit more. But here at Featured Creatures, or at least for my business, Featured Creatures, we know the industry standard is like a 10 count. That's like the bottom line that most people will start off with, even at shows. That is why we do a 15 count for the same price of a 10 count. So you are able to get more value within the isopods that you have. And we don't give babies. So that's why some of these bins that, you know, we can sell from, I'm not going to, because I'm not going to sell just babies. I'm not going to make them available on my website when it's just babies that we're selling. So we like to sell a mixed sizes, especially a lot more of the adults or newly molted adults, because you should start seeing babies within the first month. Within the first month, 2 months. Make it fun, make it interesting, make people stay in this hobby and enjoy it, instead of taking it away from them because breeding is or because prices are too high. So that's where, you know, I don't like to price my things, my isopods, my roly-polies, too high at all, because yes, they are easy to breed, but there is a lot of care that goes into them, and there's a lot of maintenance behind the scenes that has to be done with these animals, especially if you want to grow within your business rather than just survive. So we're here, or at least I'm here for my business. I'm trying to grow. I want to get bigger. I want to get more species. I want to get a facility. I'm looking to get rid of everything over here, my desk, move that in a different room, and all of that, and just fully make this all the way across the isopod center with one table fully in the middle right here, and really just dialing it down on the species that we keep, and you know, just constantly expanding, because we do want to move into different departments. We do one day want to get into spiders, other inverts. We just got into millipedes. We're going to see how those go for us. We got a lot of other things going on, but at least for now, that is the basics of, you know, the isopods, a little bit of the business side, or the economic side of it all. But let's go ahead and get back into the other ones. So like the Justroy and the clowns. So give me just 1 second. So you guys can see in this bin, it is a little bit on the drier side. Now, if you go a little bit down, it's more wet, but on the top side, it is a little bit drier, and that's why they're staying more underneath the cork bark. These, it looks similar to in a way, to the pudding clowns, but these guys are going to be the Armadillidium Justroy. These guys are a very nice species. I love them. When they produce a bunch of babies. As you can see, there are a ton, and earlier in the video, you guys can see all the ones that were on the sides. They produce a ton of babies, and these are 2 bins of them. This one has leaves, this one doesn't. I'm going to come back to replace this one with the leaves, but for now, this one I need to go ahead and definitely put the bug burger in there for them to eat for now. But I do like them to have some different spots. So underneath is where I'm going to move this to the side. Do a quick little, just like that. Because you just want to keep them a little wet underneath. You don't want to oversaturate them either. Here's another big bunch of these guys. So you don't want to oversaturate them. So that's what I'm not trying to do. But, you know, since I did leave them a little bit drier this week, because of, you know, Christmas and other things, I'm going to go ahead and water them a little bit more. All right, we'll see you at the next species. All right, guys, so these are let me see if I can get a better shot of them. Sorry, I'm not the best cameraman. But these are the milkbacks. So these are the Priscilliolaevis milkbacks. These guys are a really nice species. I do love working with these guys. Same species, or same, they are cousins, or they are related to the dairy cows, because they are Priscilliolaevis. But these are just the milkbacks, a different morph. All right, and these are everyone's favorite, the dairy cow. These are the other Priscilliolaevis genus. I always get confused on either one. But basically, these are a different morph of the Priscilliolaevis milkbacks that we just saw. These are the ones that, these guys are protein hungry, so they love to eat. And we definitely make sure that we feed them a lot of bug burger to kind of gut load them. Because when we put them in our tank like that tank that I have my anole in, these guys are the first ones to get eaten by the anole. So these guys are hardy, they're big, they do a lot of the work that you would need them to do as an isopod, and they do it very proficiently. So if you guys are definitely in the market for something that gets the job done, I would look into dairy cows as well. But I do put them with my anole only because my anole does climb, and it's definitely out of reach of them all the time. Well, for the most part, and it has a way to get away from them. You don't necessarily want to put these guys with an animal that can't get away from them, because they are very protein hungry. But if you guys have compost bins or anything like that, these guys are definitely great for that. So if you guys are interested in any of these, definitely get some dairy cows. We have 2 bins going, and as well as in that tank. I take a lot of them out of that tank while they're breeding throughout the time that they're in there. But yeah, let's get to the next species. All right, so a lot of people do love this species as well. Gonna water it just a little bit. A lot of leaves in here because there's not a lot of these guys just yet. But let's go ahead and get right into it. These guys are the, let's take a guess. See if you guys can see what these are. Well, if you guys guessed yellow zebra, you guys are correct. This is our yellow zebra bin. Not all of them are as yellow as I would like them to be. But that is why we are in the process of, breeding out yellow, and more yellow zebras. So this bin, there is not a lot of them at all. But what we do is our zebras right now produce yellows. We did buy some yellows, like specifically yellow ones to put in here. But our bins do produce yellows as well as chocolate zebras. So if you guys do buy zebras from us, whenever we do have them ready, because I'm not going to put them, I'm taking them off of our website soon for a little moment until they catch back up. But if you guys are in the market for zebras, our regular ones do produce yellows and browns. So if you want to go yellows and chocolates. So if you guys do want to, start that process of trying to breed your own chocolates and yellows, definitely check out our regular ones. After a while, they do start producing them. That's where we started getting the idea for keeping yellows and chocolates. All right, guys, so I just checked on this bin, and for some reason, there's one of these bad boys right there. If you guys don't know what these are, it's called a cappuccino isopod. These ones are still going around. Let's see if you can get a little nice close-up of it. Zoom in and then back out. There you go. These guys are nice. I like these isopods. They are still expensive. I've seen a lot of them even at Tinley, this past Tinley in October of 2022. Go for, I saw one booth selling them for, if you guys know what the booth is, then, or if you guys were at Tinley, then you guys probably saw it. Look at all these springtails on here. But this is our dairy cow. This is our Giant Canyon bin. But like I was saying, this is, if you guys were at Tinley this past October, you guys may have seen the booth or booths that were selling these guys for, what was that? I think I saw one booth for $350 for 6, $350 for 6. I saw another booth that was selling them $250 for 6. But here at Featured Creatures, if you guys are interested in them at all, if we do have enough to bring to the show, we do start a 10 count. We don't do a 6 count, we do a 10 count. And a 10 count is going to be at $200. So we're going to be going under everyone else's amount. And we're really, what we plan on doing right now is going at $200. We might go less, getting closer to the show. But for now, it's going to be $200 for a 10 count. So if you guys are looking for cappuccino isopods, definitely come check us out. But right now, the bin that I'm talking, the bin that you guys see in the video is actually going to be our dairy cows. Not our dairy cows, I just did dairy cows. These are our giant canyons, guys. These are another good worker. If you're looking for something as like a tool isopod, these guys do dig up. These guys are diggers. This is another bin of them. So these guys dig a lot, which also helps out with plant growth. As you guys can see, I do have some in there, but then you guys can just see how much these are shooting up towards the light. But this one plant was actually two plants, I believe. I can check back there. See, this plant swoops all the way back up here, and it comes all the way around here, and it's just grown in there. So it's definitely been, with the giant canyons in there, definitely has been helping the plants grow even more. We do plan on bringing a lot more plants. Here's these guys, giant canyons. But we do plan on bringing a lot more plants to, a lot more pothos and some other stuff to this show in March. So if you guys are interested in anything, definitely check out Tinley Park, the NARBC, the North American Reptile Breeders Conference. Check them out, and we will be there in March, selling all of our isopods and roaches and stuff. So yeah, on to the next one. All right, guys, these guys are really cool. These are our giant Balkan isopods. There's none on there, but they're all on this side. There's a few different colors of them. I don't know too much about them, even though I've been keeping them for a while. I guess it's because I got them for free, so I just learned the care of them, but I don't know too much about them in general. We haven't brought them to shows just yet, or the last show we were at was the first one we brought them to. But I am going to be doing a little bit more research on these guys. They are nice isopods, especially I like that they come in different colors like that. We haven't mixed this bin with anything. This is exactly how we got them. I got them for free from a friend, so I guess that's probably the reason why I haven't looked into them before getting them. But these guys are cool. They definitely, I like the different colors of them. Like I said, it's kind of like a little gem mix, even though it's just the one same species. But they are pretty cool. I like them. If you guys know anything about them, definitely put that in the comments. I'd love to read about it before I even do my research. But yeah, next one. All right, now these guys have done fantastic for us, but let me water them real quick, just because these guys I let dry out a little bit more, just because there's so much sphagnum moss in here that you guys can even see right there. You know, there's a lot of them moving around just under this rock. There's none on the rock, but they're all hiding underneath right over there. But these are our Magic Potion isopods. This is the American line. You guys can see them right there. These guys are really cool isopods. One of the first ones that we started off with, believe it or not, it was the zebras, clowns, Magic Potions, Orange Vigor, Giant Canyon. I'm looking around. Dairy cows. And that was it for the ones that we actually started off with, that I believe. Yeah, there's nothing that I see that we're doing now. Yeah, I believe that's all the original 5, 6, or 7 that we started off with. So some nice species. These guys have bred extremely well for us. But this, like I said, is the American line. So this is the only line we've brought to shows thus far. We do have the Japanese line. But we just got that recently within like the last month or two. So hopefully by March for NARBC, we can bring more of them for you guys. There we go. But yeah, let's get on to the next one. All right, so this species right here, we are waiting to catch up on. This species has done us great, but we don't have a lot of them now. You guys can see a bunch of the babies right there. We have some Panda Kings in here. Definitely got to come back in here and get those out. You guys see that there is sometimes, you see, there's a bunch of babies walking around. I like that. But these are the clowns. But sometimes, guys, the bins do, you guys can see under there, these bins, don't want to crush them, do allow for others to, or other species to come in there, because we don't cover those air holes like I should. It's just something I have not done. Let me pump this back up. It's just something I have not done since I got them, or since I got these original bins, all the ones that are here now. It just seemed like too much work, or so much work to do it. I was being lazy when I first started, and then now I kind of still don't do it. I don't necessarily see a need for it, other than when I am cleaning out these bins. You know, I feel like dirt will get stuck in the netting around the holes, since I'll only, you know, I may hot glue it like here, but like dirt will get stuck around this side and the outside of it when I'm pouring the dirt out to put new bins together. So personally, I just don't like it, so that's why I don't do it. But if you're a novice breeder, I definitely would recommend it. For me, for us here, we use this thing called, you guys can see some very, very small gnats, not a lot of them, in just some of the bins, not even all of them. But we use a thing called mosquito bits here, which doesn't affect the isopods at all. The isopods are still doing great even while using it. So if you're going to keep isopods like this with no holes on there or nothing blocking it, blocking the insects from going in there, I definitely recommend mosquito bits. All right, these guys are my co-founder. His name is Chewy, or Jesus. These are his favorites. These guys are the orange koi. We got a lot of springtails on here. I might have to come back and grab some. These guys were breeding well for us. You guys can see how this bin is looking. Though they do well for us in here, we still kind of want to get a lot of them out. Like here's the rest of them. They look nice. I like them personally. They look real nice. We just need to get a few more babies for them to breed. But I want to see, I really am going to be looking up what this mold is, because it's really just grown randomly as of the last month or so. A lot of the mold has grown in these bins, so I want to see what I am doing that's doing that. I don't know if there's just too much nutrition. That just means the dirt needs to be changed out. You know, I'm not too sure yet, but these guys have been doing good for us. They've been breeding great. I'm still going to water everything the exact same. And when I do move cork bark and stuff to new bins, though, I make sure no isopods are on there, and then I boil it. Because even through bins, from bin to bin, you still don't want like situations like this where that may have been the reason why the mold came over. Because it's not the first time. It happens all the time. It's going to always happen when you keep isopods, a little bit of mold growth. But I'm not sure if that's the reason why it's spread to other bins or what the reason is. But definitely something you got to do. But on to the next one. Now, this species we don't have a lot of at all. They've been breeding well for us as of lately. These are the Flavo marginatus. These guys look very nice. You guys can see like that coloration, that patterning. Let me zoom in and you guys can see it a little bit better. There you go. The coloration, the patterning on these guys is surreal. I like these ones, and you know, for the coloration difference, I do love these guys the most. You see, we have a decent amount of them breeding in here. Now, when you started off with I believe we started off with a 6 or 10 count. Now we have around 30 in here. I'd say it's going pretty well, but just want to spread the leaves back out. But since there's not a lot of them, I'm not too worried about the leaf litter in here being a little bit lower than if it was in the other bins. But this side I'm going to water a little bit more than the other side. Now you guys got to remember, like I said, if you guys think I'm overwatering these bins, trust me, I'm not. It's maybe for the mold growth part, but the thing about it is I water the side that's going on here, or the wet side, what I would consider more. But also, since I haven't watered these guys really in this past week, and I have these holes that do dry it out a little bit more, which require a little bit more maintenance, it does get drier even a little bit further down in the soil. So once this basically comes back up, I could pull out one of these old bins. Let's go back to the milkbacks right there. I can go back to one of these old bins and check out one that they're eating the bug burger. That's one. And the soil is nice. it's black, how it should be, but nothing is really like wet other than the leaves. The soil is exactly how I'd want it. You see these guys are just going to work on the on a bug burger that I've done before. It's not a lie, guys. When we tell you that we use the products that that we sell, we definitely use the products that we sell. Let me go ahead and put this back. This bin is probably my worst bin, and the reason why I'm changing out a lot of dirt is because of how fast that this mold growth. I've been monitoring it, and it hasn't affected these guys at all. I mean, you're gonna see once I turn this around, just right there, and right here, and right there. These guys have been breeding very well for me, so it hasn't affected them at all when it comes to breeding. But it is something that, you know, just unsightly, want to get out. Some of this mold is more just unsightly than it is doing damage at all, or most of it is. So you know, don't really even have a problem with it. Just don't necessarily like it inside of my enclosures because it, you know, it spreads, and since it doesn't look good, I don't want to put isopods in different enclosures like this if we're gonna have that spread. But for now, you see, just because they're gonna be getting a new enclosure within the week, probably right after New Year's, I'm only going to do that. They're only gonna get bug burger to eat. Until then, you guys saw how the milk backs do it. But I do these bins twice a week. So let's go ahead and put these guys back up there. I do these bins twice a week. Grab this bin. Usually on Mondays and Thursdays is when I do them. These guys are the lemonades. So they have, you know, enough time or enough food in between, enough time to be able to eat all their food. These guys are nice. They blend in very much with the cork bark. Hard to see them. There's none that are up here. We don't have a lot of these guys. I moved these out of a smaller bin just because we had them for a while and there was enough to put in here, as you guys can see, and there's more, you know, throughout the dirt and everything, but we had enough to be able to put in here, and I needed the smaller bins to use for another species that we just got. And we do have a lot more species that we're going to set up. So there's going to be a video that I'm actually going to be making right after this one. And this video is just going to be part 1 of part 2 because I have, it looks like 4, 8, 12, 16, 24 more bins to go through after this. That's not including any springtails. So this will be a 2-part series right after I finish these last 2 rows. So next one. All right, guys. So these are our skew ball tri-colored. You guys can see they have that little like slash in the middle of them. Yeah, and that's natural color. That's not them shedding. That's kind of like what they look like. These guys are an interesting one as well. And we don't have enough at all of this bin or of this species to bring to any shows, so we haven't done that yet. But we're looking definitely in 2023 to have these guys ready, ready to bring to shows. But this is another one of those species that we brought, that we put inside a bigger bin. I feel like I did it prematurely. Before they were ready to really be moved to a bigger bin. There's a lot more that's actually underneath there, but I just don't think it's a big enough colony just yet for this size bin. But, you know, we're just going to keep them in here and see how it goes. There's no mold growth or anything like that. We don't put a lot of bug burger in here just because they will not eat it all, and definitely don't want it molding. But yeah, guys, that is the skew ball tri. All right, these are the officinales, or see, they don't really... They definitely like to ball up a lot, so there's not a lot that's going to actually stay on the wood. If you guys look down here, we have tons of these guys in here. They're doing very well for us. Definitely want to water this up. You guys can hear that. Underneath, you guys can see that little coloring, that different coloring. It's because it is a little bit moist down there, and that's why I'm liking the idea of making all of my bins just like this when I do start trading them out or changing them out. So we're going to water this a lot. I'm actually going to water up here too. We're going to water this a lot over here, especially on the sphagnum moss, just because we do want these guys to make sure that they can self-regulate themselves. And under here, let's go ahead and water just a little bit. Don't want to move it around too much. Just like that. That's perfectly fine. because we want to give them a spot where it's drier, so they're on top and underneath the cork bark. But then throughout the rest of the enclosure, they can actually, get some more moisture. All right, on to the next one. All right, so in here, these are our Priscilla laevis caramel, is what I got them as. They are a nice species. Obviously, like I said, part of the Priscilla laevis, just like the dairy cows and the milkbacks. These guys do not like to be on cork bark. So it's harder to find them on cork bark rather than throughout the rest of the enclosure. Let me see if you guys can see any moving just from staying still. There's a few that are moving in there. But these guys like to hide. But now that I just watered the enclosure, they are coming out a little bit more. But let's go ahead and feed these guys a little bit of the bug burger. There we go. Put that in there, call that a day. And that is the caramels. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so these are the Morocco isopods, as you guys can see. Not a lot of these guys at all. Not as much as I'd want. We used to have a really good number of them. As you guys can see, the babies are starting to come, which is great for us. But like down there, I don't have as many left as I want to. We have one, not Hassai high yellow. Is that no, Priscilla ornatus high yellow. This used to be that bin, but those guys didn't do too well for us. You guys can see all the babies and stuff around this one. But those guys didn't do too well for us, so we tossed the Moroccos in here when we were, instead of, because we only had around 5 or so in here, and 4 of them passed away. So we only have that one left of the ornatus high yellow in there. So because of that, I just went ahead, since the dirt was still fresh and watered and maintained, I went ahead and just tossed the Moroccos in here. So they've been doing pretty well. They're starting to breed a little bit more for me. I had a lot, but then just for some reason they stopped breeding for a long time. So I'm just waiting for them to, get back into breeding for me so I can start bringing them to shows again. But until then, they are not going to be on our website or on the show list. Let's go ahead and go into the last bin of this row. Then we got one more row, which I might toss in with the next video because this video is already pretty long. And we have a bunch more other stuff to do, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and get into this one. This one I have reversed on accident. This one does have a name. This one is going to be, here we go, there we are. These are the Valencias. You guys can see they have a nice color to them. I am working on getting a camera for next year, guys, so we're gonna get a little bit better, like a specific camera for this or for filming. That's what I'm working on for next year, 2023. I know I have my wedding and a few other stuff that I got to do. So hopefully soon, guys, we're getting close to actually being able to make money off of YouTube from these videos. So definitely, if you guys are enjoying these and you guys have made it this far through the video, go ahead and give me a like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely comment. I love to reply to the comments. I don't see them right away sometimes, so I do. But I do make sure to try and reply to every single one that I can. So if you guys are interested in this video or enjoying this video, I got a few more coming out. This one's going to be my 2022, the ending of my 2022 Isopod adventure, and beginning my 2023. And I have a few plans for videos coming out in January, and a few other things like making a video while I'm at shows and showing you guys what that experience is like. But for now, let's just go ahead and do it while we're here. Let's move on to this last bin. So these guys are part of the owner's favorite collection. There's not a lot of them in here, but if you guys can see that one, these are called the Witch's Brew. Priscilla ornatus, you see they have just some left in there of the food, but there's not a lot of them in here. They like to stay normally on the sides, kind of like right there. As you guys can see, there they are. There's a few of them. But I don't like leaving these bins, which is my fault, 100% my fault. These are just the things that you do, that you learn to pay attention to, even though it is the holidays and it gets a little bit busier. You guys can see a few of them walking around. I'm going to water this bin heavily. These guys are a nice species. These guys, I think, that's the thing about the wrong species. They're still going around 80 bucks for a 10 count. I know we're going to be looking at doing around $70 to $65 for a 15 count. So whenever we do start breeding these in mass, I plan on really in 2023 having at least 3 bins of each and every one of these species currently, as well as upgrading all the bins, or upgrading to other species that we don't have. Like there's a bunch of other species that I can show you, or that I'll show you right now, of species that we're putting together. So we have these guys, the Cubaris red tigers. They look really nice. They're right up there. We have, what else was it? We put the cappuccinos in their bins. We put everything in their bins. We have, not everything. We have Hoffman Segai, because we didn't do too well with them at first because I overwatered them and they like a little bit drier. So the Hoffman Segais, we got those. We finally moved into dwarf whites. But I had to make sure we got a bin that I do not cut a hole open at all, because I don't want those going into any other bins. They're going to be across the room from all of them. There's the dwarf whites. And then we got a few other things. I know we got granulatums. We got a few other species that we got to set up bins for. A lot of things going on right now. So definitely stay tuned. But let's go ahead and go into the next bin, which is going to be these guys. I won't even stop the video since these already still have bug burger in it. And I can just slide these guys right over. These are our peach isopods. Guys, Armadillium Nisatum, I believe it was, or Persilio. No, not Persilio. But they are Nisatum. But these guys have been doing well for us. Look at that. Now, I'm just waiting on some more babies to be produced from these guys. But overall, they have been doing very well for me and for us. As a business as well. So these guys are definitely going to get a nice, since there's a nice amount in there, we're going to water it. That's normally step 1. There we go. And then we're going to put a nice amount of bug burger on there, because we want these guys to breed. And I'm going to be going through all of these bins. I have to boil the leaves that you guys saw earlier. I have to boil them before I put them in here. So I'm definitely going to put these guys over here now. But those guys are doing well for us. Now these guys, I don't have a name on them, but I'm pretty sure these are the Armadillium Gestroid, and I was told that they are called zingers. And that is because instead of the Gestroid that have the white sparkling or specking on them, these guys don't have that. These guys are purely white. Oh, not this bin. Sorry. This is the wrong bin. It is the next bin that has those. This bin is a mixture of wild type isopods. So I got these isopods from, these ones are just to keep. But that's why there's a mixture of them of different kinds. There's some Armadillium and some other species and genuses in there. But this one I got from my grandma's house around 2 years ago. And, you know, I just keep them at this point. I actually sold the full colony for around 6 months. I'm getting out of isopods before I started my business and really wanted to focus on them. So let me go ahead and pump this back up. So now we still have these guys and they're doing well for us. There we go. So yeah, these guys are doing well for us. I definitely enjoy having them as a, you know, just a local species. I get to see what the wild type versions of them look like. And then when I come in to look at all these bins, these ones are interesting to look at. I love them. They're basically some of the first ones I have, and I definitely got them for free. And this is, I got them, the reason why they're so mixed is because I didn't even understand genuses or anything at that time beforehand. I was just like, oh, these are all roly-polies, and just picked them up. But now this bin is, we got one last bin after this one, and that is the Lavis Whites. But this one, with no tag on it, is the Zingers. The reason why there's no tag on it, because I had this in the car during shows the whole time. So we can just go in here, turn that on, clear, because we have the giant canyons there, and then just put Zingers. This is one of the best ones. If you're gonna get a label maker, I like this one. Press that twice, and then drop the side. This is gonna print out Zingers. So we can just cut that. Oh, I put 2 R's. Okay, that's fine. That is okay. I'm not going to waste more for that. Put this on there. But these guys are what I was talking about. They are the Armadillidium Gestroy Zingers. So the Armadillidium Gestroy have that nice gray body, but they have yellow dots on them. While the Zingers have the white dots. So that's what I meant by they were whited out. Let's go ahead and just take a look at what I mean by that. These guys, see, this is what I mean. You put a little too much food than what they're going to eat, and it'll start molding up like that. But here they are. These guys are the Armadillium Gestroy, and these are the Zingers. They have white on them instead of yellow. Those dots on here are white, but the dots on regular Gestroy are yellow. So that is kind of what I was talking about in regards to that. It is still pretty moist in here, but I'll just give it, and that's because it's basically topped off with sphagnum moss. But these are a nice little rinse. I had a lot of food in here, and there's only a few of them in here because I didn't have a small bin to put them in when I got them. So they'll just stay in here until they start breeding like the other ones are. And let me go ahead and just let me make a label for the wild ones, because I decided to never do that. Don't know why. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the very last bin, but not our least favorite bin. These guys are also a Procellolavis genus or species. These are got cut off. I accidentally pressed the power button on my phone. But these guys are the Procellolavis whites. So basically, those are like the whiteout versions. So if you look at Pruinosis species, these ones would be basically considered the whiteout versions. So that's what they look like. Same thing with the Dalmatians. That line down the middle of them is just because some of the food and leaves they ate is they're basically a little translucent or transparent. So all you're seeing is just the leaves in the digestive system. That's all. But we're going to feed them the exact same way and then water them. But and then that's it. All the bins that you guys saw that had some mold in them, most likely in the next video, you won't see that, depending on what the video is going to be. I know I have a lot of bins to create, so I'm going to show you guys my process on creating them probably in the next video, but that won't be out until I'm planning for the first week of January to start that off. But we'll see. Might drop one on January 1st. But overall, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me bring you guys over here first, and then I can show you guys what we have left to do. So these are all the bins that we have left to do. We have the penguins, rubber duckies, expanses, blue pigeons, a few other things, granulatum. We have the shiny gators, spatulatus, panikings. We have a bunch of other stuff that we got to do. We got to do all of these springtail bins up there. Those are the temperates. Then we have the regular springtail, or the blooperdoras, the tropicals, the orange springtails, domino roaches, stuff like that. And even over there, on that little thing behind my Boricua flag, these are going to be all of the master cultures that we bring to shows. So these are going to be basically what we create master cultures with. So we got 1 month before we start going to shows, but all of these bins are going to be master cultures, but not just those. We have a stream right here. I think it was 23 different bins that we're going to be creating master cultures out of. So when you guys can go to shows, you guys can find big master cultures, not just small ones in the 8-ounce containers, big master cultures at this size, and they with the charcoal and everything already in it, rinsed and clear. And the master cultures that we sell are going to be going for $39.99 at the moment. We sold out within the first hour of the last show, and we brought 4 of them. So we wanted to see, since that went well, that's why we're starting to do more. And as well as we have over there, those bins that are up there. Those bins are going to be for our pre-made cultures for Isopod. So we're going to have pre-made ones with real dirt, sphagnum moss, and everything made, just so you can go ahead and just toss your Isopods in there right away. And then you don't have to worry about setting up a bin for them. And here we do have our Jupiter Isopods somewhere. I gotta find them later. I don't feel like opening this one up. But the last thing that I'll show you guys in this video before I sign off for today is our red springtails. So you guys can see we have There's one right there. Let's take a look if we see any more. There's a few of those guys right there. We have reds, we have oranges, pinks, a few others. And once these are ready, we're gonna start bringing them to shows as well. But you guys can kind of see in here. See what that looks like. Let me zoom in and see if you can see it. There you go. So we got the reds in here. You guys see that? You see that right there? So I'm trying to get rid of. But look at those red springtails. They are great. Once they grow up a little bit more, see all those ones that don't even have their color yet? They're producing a lot of babies for us now. So we are going to start expanding them into other bins. And just like all of these other bins right here, those are all of our orange springtails, as you can see. And then all of our temperates. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long video, more of a lengthy video this time. And if you guys did, go ahead and smash that like button. I definitely want to do more videos on this. I'm probably going to do another video about my isopods, not my isopods, my roaches next. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!